Alright, welcome to the second part of the Introduction to Lowpoly tutorial, where we'll be reviewing how can we take an actual building and optimize it to Lowpoly in order for it to run successfully into the housed engine. So here we have the raw model of this building, which has been made in, let's say, the traditional way inside 3ds Max using the AutoCAD files. And if we see the wireframe of the building here, you can see it has a lot of subdivisions. You can actually select each floor individually, and if we slide one of these out, you can see they have all their internal walls, all the pillars, has all the subdivisions that they made to make the window holes. The windows have their frames modeled, and if we take a closer look to the window and open the group, we can see the glass has all this thickness, all the back faces, and in fact all the model has the down faces. So if we want to optimize this in the best way, we will have to get rid of most of these things. So in the previous tutorial, the Introduction to Lowpoly tutorial, I mentioned that you have to keep your scene below 150,000 triangles, and based on that you can see this isn't terribly bad because it's standing for 60,000 triangles right now. By the way, I recommend that you go into the configure viewports and go to the statistic tabs and actually tick out the polygon count and the vertex count and just leave the triangle count, because the polygon count can be deceiving and it will cause confusion. So just leave the triangle count and also select the total plus selection to always know the total count of what you have selected. So even though the triangle count on this scene isn't so high, we can still get rid of a lot of them by removing some of the things that I mentioned and also remodeling the walls. Because remember that this scene will just be showing the outside of the building. You don't need any of the interior walls or any of it. Not even the back side of the windows you need. So if you're wondering, because you're watching right now all the floors separate, you don't need to have them separate. This can actually be a single mesh structure, and maybe this down part here can also be an individual mesh structure, because right now this whole building stands for 39 entities, but there are actually a lot more objects. It's just that they're not showing because they're inside groups. But the thing that I want you to be aware of is that you shouldn't have so many individual objects, because they will also cause big performance issues. So you want to simplify as less objects in your scene as you can. And I keep talking about a single scene and 150,000 polygons per triangles per scene. What I actually mean by that is that this exterior of your building will be considered by the engine like a single scene. It will just be showing the exterior. When you click on an apartment, it will then load the scene of that apartment individually. The scene of this apartment should be a different 3ds Max file. So each of these separate scenes that are separate 3ds Max files, you have a margin up to 150,000 polys. So you will have that margin here, and you will also have it here. And in other cases, you might have a bigger project with several towers next to each other or whatever. And then in a case like this will be called like a master plan, where you will be able to select each tower individually, and then this will be a single scene that will also have a limit up to 150,000 polys. in this case, then you will select the tower, and once you select the tower, you will get inside the individual building scene. So this is kind of the way they're split it up. So having said all this, let's start viewing the techniques I use for the optimization of a high poly building like this.